My name is Afrodita Krasniqi. I'm honored to be your host today. I work as Outreach and Recruitment Officer on the Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program for the Institute of International Education based in New York City. So today we're going to highlight opportunities in the Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program for 2021 application cycle that highlight awards in education and the social sciences. So I'm going to do my presentation, highlight few awards in some of the world regions, and then I will take your questions at the end. So thank you very much for your attention. Before we start presenting on all the wonderful awards that we have in social sciences and education, I just want to talk about the history of the Fulbright program. It is a fascinating history indeed, because this will also give you some additional information and something you can highlight in your application as well, because the main goal of the Fulbright program is to promote mutual understanding between the U.S. and other nations. The Fulbright program is the United States government's flagship international educational and cultural exchange program. Our global network of Fulbrighters fosters mutual understanding between the United States and over 160 countries worldwide. It advances knowledge across communities and improves lives around the globe. It was established in 1946 by Congress, and the Fulbright program offers opportunities for passionate and accomplished scholars and professionals of all backgrounds. Fulbright scholars study, teach, conduct research, and help find solutions to shared international concerns. It is sponsored by the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, and it is administered in close collaboration with U.S. embassies, Fulbright commissions, and the Institute of International Education, which is the cooperating agency that I'm employed by. We administer the program on behalf of the State Department and Fulbright commissions in U.S. embassies. Today, the program operates in more than 130 countries worldwide. And its alumni include 86 Pulitzer Prize winners and 60 Nobel Prize laureates. So that's a great network to be in if you're selected as a Fulbright Scholar for 2021. You can see here just some historical photo that we have of one of the first Fulbrighters who went to Burma. And he was a professor of English, Dr. Joseph Whitty from East Carolina College. And then on the right-hand side, you can see a more recent photo of a Fulbrighter, Professor Linda Chamberlain from the University of Alaska, and also a public health scientist, who attended a Fulbright Arctic Scholar in 2014-2016. So you can really see that Fulbright stood the test of time and is still going strong. So this is something just to give you a little bit of context and how you can also incorporate this into your application. Think about, how you're going to serve as cultural ambassador and how you're going to connect with the community wherever you propose to do your Fulbright. It is important to keep in mind the eligibility for U.S. Scholar programs. First of all, U.S. citizenship is required. Remember, you're serving as cultural ambassador and you really are representing the United States abroad. So, and then the degree is different. Every award has different requirements, and you will see later when I go through some of the highlighted awards, some require PhD, some do not. So you want to pay close attention to those, and that's how you also find a good match. Many awards are open to even master degree holders and also professionals in their, depending on their experience as well. However, if you're a recent master degree holder or undergraduate degree holder, you're eligible for the Fulbright U.S. student program. So Also, think about you as academic. If you have great students who also want to serve as cultural ambassadors, you want to encourage them to look for the Fulbright U.S. student program, which is also open. And however, the application process operates completely differently from the Scholar program. The Scholar program is open to professionals and artists as well. So, you want to keep this in mind too. And for some of the awards, teaching experience is specifically, and sometimes they require like early career or mid-career or more senior level of scholars, and they're very specific to sometimes how many years of teaching experience is required for awards. Candidates who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces are also encouraged to apply as long as they meet the eligibility requirements that we just went through. For returning the Fulbrighters, and if you've had a Fulbright before, there are new policies in place. So as long as you wait for 2 years from the completion of your grant until the time you apply, you're eligible to apply again. And there are no limits to how many times one can get a Fulbright. However, we do request from returning Fulbrighters that they really make a strong justification to why they need another Fulbright and how that previous Fulbright experience prepared them for a second or third experience or fourth. So just want you to think about that if you are an alumni of the Fulbright program. Yeah. So. Okay, I'm just trying to get your feedback a little bit because I'm also want to make sure that you can see the slides as I'm changing them, because I got some comments that you are not seeing the slides as they're changing. Could you just, one of you just comment if you can see the changes in the slides? Okay, I'm gonna fix that. All right, so just to, if you could confirm it with me now that you can see, right, perfect, thank you, I appreciate it. All right, so sometimes technology doesn't cooperate. So basically, I was just covering the eligibility because it is very important for you to keep in mind that the U.S. citizenship is required, and degree is required for every award. There are different requirements, and sometimes the PhD is not required, or it is required depending on the award on the country. And Fulbright program has evolved over the years, so they welcome also applications from professionals and artists, creative writers, journalists, etc. If you are an academic and you have also great students, you want to also encourage them to consider the Fulbright U.S. student program. So just wanted to kind of repeat that, what I just discussed. All right. Moving on to how you select the right award, because this is one of the most frequent questions we get. How do you match your expertise and experience and proposal to the award description? Basically, you just look for, the first paragraph is really important, what they're looking for on the award page, and make sure, that the expertise you have matches to what they're looking for. And also, in many cases, once you start the dialogue with the host institution, you will know instantly if this is something that could be a good fit for you as well. If you have regional experience and language ability, you want to highlight that in your application. As long as you do not have extensive regional experience, because there are eligibility requirements for those who have spent at least 5 years recently in the country, they are not eligible to apply. So, but if you have like a short visit, or if you go back and forth to the country and you want to go again, you just want to kind of explain how these short visits that you've had in the country have prepared you for the Fulbright program. If you speak the language, that helps you for sure connect with the community, even though language is not required in most of these awards. However, if you do speak the language, that helps you become a better cultural ambassador. Focus on the discipline preferences. I'm going to highlight some awards now that we have them listed with preferred disciplines in social sciences, education, teaching English as a foreign language, etc. So if you come from that background, are interested in those topics, then definitely you would be a strong candidate if your discipline is represented in these awards. It is important to think about why the project is relevant to the host country. How are they going to benefit from this experience, from this project? And every application has to be country specific. And then, you know, of course, the discipline specific. But think about that as you proceed with your application, and make sure that this is reflected there. We do offer opportunities for every career level, starting from early career, which means 5 years or less teaching and research experience, and then to postdoc, mid-level, up to distinguished chairs, which are a more senior level of scholars, and they would require for those at least 10 years of teaching and research experience. So now I would like to highlight some opportunities in Europe and Eurasia region for which I work on. I manage these opportunities, and you will see you know, that we do have the email address listed here if you have like any follow-up questions. And even though we're trying to answer the questions today, but considering the volume of questions, if I might not get back to you on your question, feel free to reach out to me, europeeurasia@iit.org. The email is listed on the right-hand corner on this slideshow. So we're going to start with Albania. Has a wonderful opportunity in gender studies. This is a new award, and you can teach or do a combination of teaching and research in social work. PhD is required for this one, and you can do these activities between 4 and 5 months. However, letter of invitation is preferred. So whenever we say letter of invitation is preferred, it's always good to reach out to the host institution and get the letter. Austria has an amazing opportunity. They continue to offer this opportunity. Fulbright Bieber, visiting professor of Austrian American Studies. You can teach and do research as a combination in social disciplines, for example, in social sciences, American history, sociology, etc. Letter of invitation is preferred, and PhD is required. So for those who are considering Europe, applying to Europe, I would recommend that you also reach out to those institutions as soon as possible, because the academic year in most of these countries will end in June or latest beginning of July. So you really want to get hold of the host as soon as possible. Continuing to Czech Republic, they do have an award called Fulbright Masaryk University Distinguished Chair in Social Studies, and they offer the anthropology, psychology, etc. Letter of invitation is required, and this is open more to senior level of scholars, and they would accept applications from academics only. France has an amazing opportunity for early career scholars, and this is a postdoc award in social sciences for junior research. So it's PhD is required. Remember, it's a postdoc, so PhD must be obtained by June 20th of 2020. So letter of invitation is required. Moving on to Georgia, which has a special opportunity in education, communication, and creative writing. So again, you can teach or do a combination of teaching and research here. So these awards that we highlighted that are specific in social sciences are really important for you to review if you're coming from this background. Moving on to some other countries in Europe, in Hungary, they offer the University of Pannonia Scholar Grant in American History, American Studies, and Literature, among many other disciplines. PhD is required, and letter of invitation is strongly preferred. Italy has an amazing opportunity in Fulbright lectureship at the Department of Political and Social Sciences at the University of Bologna. And they do offer political science and sociology as one of their preferred disciplines. And it is open to academics only. PhD is required. Kosovo has a very high-profile award called Higher Education. It is an award to work directly with the Minister of Education on higher education policies. PhD is required and letter of invitation is preferred. And we do provide contacts for most of these awards, so you want to look them up and just see who is your potential host, and you want to just reach out to them as soon as possible. Turkey has unique award in social sciences, humanities, and arts. So they include many disciplines, including social sciences. So it is open again for academics only. And letter of invitation is optional. So whenever the letter of invitation is optional, you want to reach out to the host just to get a better sense of if you could be a good fit, basically, if they're interested in hosting you. And then the last country in Europe and Eurasia that I would like to highlight is Ireland, where you can do research in College of Arts, Celtic Studies. So that's really unique for Ireland. And PhD is required, and it's open to academics only. So I'm going to respond to your questions at the end. So if you have any questions, you can type them in. So, all right. Moving on to other regions, opportunities in South and Central Asia. Again, I highlighted here the email address for any follow-up questions. You can just write to my colleagues, and they will be happy to respond. In India, there is the Fulbright Nehru Academic and Professional Excellence Award in all disciplines. So they do offer about 45 grants. This is one of the largest awards we have in Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program, and you can do research or teaching, or a combination of both. And you can also co-teach, guest lecture, offer workshops or seminars depending on the agreement with the host institution. So you can work directly with faculty on developing their curriculum and conducting seminars. So they offer this opportunity in all disciplines, so therefore you can just check if there is any potential host in social sciences, education, or teaching English as a foreign language, and then connect with them. PhD is not required. They do offer the flex option for this one. So flex option is an opportunity for you to travel multiple times within the stretch of 2 years, as long as you stay 1 month in the hosting country. So that's the feature of the flex that we portrayed here. Then moving on to the Maldives, you can, here is another all-discipline award. However, they do have some preferred disciplines. They include social sciences and education. So PhD is not required, again, for this one. See, like there are different requirements for each country, each award. Central Asia Award on teaching English as a foreign language, any activities related to English language teaching. or training are strongly preferred, and PhD is not required. So this is, then Nepal has an opportunity in all disciplines. Uzbekistan has an opportunity in all disciplines, as well as the multi-country award, South and Central Regional Research Program. So you want to explore like which countries are a part of this multi-country award in South and Central Asia. All right. I see that there are so many questions coming in, so I appreciate your patience. I'm going to go through the slides real quickly and then take on the questions at the end. All right. Moving on to opportunities in East Asia Pacific. Australia has an amazing award called Fulbright Distinguished Chair in Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences at the Australian National University. You can engage with staff, with faculty and students through guest lectures, seminars, and one-on-one interactions. And this way you can explore long-term collaborations and institutional linkages between the applicant home institution and the Australian National University. PhD is required for this one. Australia has another award called Fulbright Scholar Award with University of Canberra in social sciences. Burma has this opportunity in all disciplines, they say, but then pay attention to the preferred disciplines, which include education, sociology, etc. The teaching load may be a maximum of 3 graduate or undergraduate courses a semester. So PhD is required for this one. China has a Fulbright Distinguished Chair in the Social Sciences. So we also provided a special webinar to highlight Distinguished Chair Awards. It happened yesterday, so if you were able to attend that, and if you're interested in the Distinguished Chair program, if you did not attend the webinar yesterday, I can send you the link to that webinar so you can learn more about the Distinguished Chair Awards. So back to China for their Distinguished Chair Award in Social Sciences, you can conduct teaching or a combination of teaching and research in the social sciences. A PhD is required, and it is open to mostly senior level of scholars, like we mentioned earlier. Then China has a very specific social sciences, humanities, and the arts award where you can do research only or teaching only. Indonesia with the All Discipline Award, including area studies, education, anthropology, and PhD is required. Okay. We do have also opportunities in Korea, social sciences, humanities, and the arts. You can teach undergrad or grad courses in social sciences, humanities, and the arts. So you can, again, interact with students, you can advise students, assist, and develop the curriculum. For teaching, for a combination of teaching and research award, the research does not have to relate to the study of the United States. So grantees will be given a research period before or after teaching each semester. So Vietnam has the All Discipline Award, and then Southeast Asia has the Asian Research Program. So if you're interested in any of these awards again and you want to just review them carefully and send us any follow-up questions. Middle East and North Africa. Keep in mind the email address is listed above for follow-up questions. Kuwait has an All Discipline Award, and they offer a combination of teaching or lecture in specific courses, and also you can conduct research in any area of specialization. So you can definitely, there is an opportunity here for the finalists to speak to local audiences and or even media about their research project. Jordan has the opportunity in teaching English as a foreign language and applied linguistics. Moving on to Sub-Saharan Africa, South Africa has the opportunity in social sciences and humanities. Grantees must conduct research, teach undergrad or grad courses, or have a combination of teaching and research in their area of specialization. So they only welcome applications in social sciences and humanities. Again, Cameroon has the Old Discipline Award, so sometimes they have, even when they say old disciplines, they have preferred disciplines within that too. And moving on with opportunities in Western Hemisphere, we do have the opportunity in Argentina in social sciences and humanities. It's a combination of teaching and research. And in the U.S. studies, especially, there are welcome applications in U.S. studies at any accredited institution in Argentina. Chile has the opportunity in social sciences, humanities, and education. So they include history, language and literature, library sciences, etc. Mexico offers an award in social sciences and humanities. Canada has the research chairs in arts, humanities, and culture, and research chairs in indigenous studies. So if you're interested, again, in the chair awards, you have to have at least 10 years of teaching and research experience. Moving on with Paraguay and Uruguay, they also each offer an old discipline award. So just wanted to highlight some of these wonderful opportunities for 2021. So just focusing now on the application. Broadly speaking, this is a very competitive application process, and it's a lot of moving parts, as you've probably noticed if you started your application. And therefore, your Fulbright proposal needs to be these three things. It has to be clear, concise, and compelling. So first of all, the online application form this year, we do have a new application form. It's an advanced form online that is pretty intuitive and user-friendly. So if you've had any technical problems with it, let us know, and we're here to help you solve that. But I haven't heard like major complaints about the application itself. Project statement is a brief introduction, self-introduction to reviewers, and an opportunity to provide answers to the questions reviewers may have about you. For example, what professional experiences and skills do you offer to the host institution and the host country? Why are you interested in a particular award in social sciences or in education or in other disciplines that we just covered now, like teaching English as foreign language and so forth? So, and why this particular country? Because every application has to be country specific. So make sure you reflect on this and answer this on your application. What are you hoping to gain from this experience? And what are some of the potential impacts for your host and your employer or your home institution? How would you deal with challenging situations? Foreign workplaces can oftentimes be very different from what we're used to in the U.S. And how do you plan to cope with those cultural differences in the workplace? And the last thing I want you to think about and reflect is with regard to the research project that you'll be working on, what significance does it hold for your discipline, your development, the host country's benefit, and how will the results be shared? So what is the vision after Fulbright? Your resume should also be attached to your application, and it should be a tailored resume according to the needs of the institution. So in order for you to enhance your application, 3 letters of references are required. So you want to register them now, and then once you provide to us the information, their contacts and their emails, the system will send your referees an email or to ask for the letter of reference. So make sure you send those now or give heads up to your referees that you're planning to ask them to do this so that they're prepared and they know what to focus on their letter of reference. Additional components depending on the award. If you're applying for teaching only, we want to see the syllabi. If you're applying for a research award, you should attach the bibliography, which is a list of resources that you're going to use for your research. Language proficiency report only when it is required. Letter of invitation is crucial part of the endorsement from the host institution whenever it is required. And finally, supplemental materials for applicants in the arts, architecture, writing, and journalism. So basically, we want to see samples of your artwork or of your writing, etc. Okay. So we just covered the project statement in more detail, but again, it is very important you answer all the WH questions, you know, why Fulbright, why you, why this institution, and think about, you know, the vision that you have if you're selected and what will happen after you complete the Fulbright. Affiliations and invitations are very important. As you probably noticed, even during your application process, you're building relationships with these hosts. So we do provide in most of the awards some suggested or confirmed affiliations. And then you will find, in many cases, information about these hosts, and they will be located in under the location in the catalog of awards. When the host is not identified, there are other resources that can help you find a host. For example, the international office or study abroad office in your campus. We do provide a comprehensive list of alumni under the Fulbright Scholar Directory, and you can search them up. You can filter them by country or the project or the discipline, and then you can just research them online. We do not provide their contacts, but something will come up and you can reach out to them directly. So if there are no specific hosts identified, there are suggestions for hosts. We do provide sometimes the list of Ministry of Education or the list of universities in the host country, etc. Keep in mind the letter of invitation is a non-binding expression of interest from proposed hosts abroad. So also they might be issuing letters of invitations to many other applicants, and it's not like a contract. So even if they claim that they endorse you, they provide great support. Sometimes it could happen that you're not selected. So just for you to keep this in mind, it should come from a person with whom you're collaborating, as long as they have the authority to issue the letter of invitation. And it should be on their letterhead and signed, and they can just scan it and send it to you. Then you can upload it to your application. How do you submit a competitive application? Think about how you want to address the goal of the Fulbright program to promote mutual understanding. That's very important when they review these applications. Why Fulbright? Why this country? What are you offering? Your expertise. Think about the cultural diplomacy aspect, and how tolerant are you, and how you're willing to also learn from these other experts in the hosting country, because this is an exchange of knowledge and experience. And in the long run, how is this going to impact your home institution and open doors for future collaboration? And the review process here, basically, after you submit the application, the deadline is September 16th. So make sure you do not wait until September 16th to submit your application. So at least 1 week or 2 weeks before that, before the deadline. if possible, of course, because we're aware that you're probably waiting for the letter of invitation or letter of recommendation and so forth. Even after you submit the application, we still will give you another chance. Try not to do this, but if you're still missing a letter of invitation and letter of recommendation or other letters or components that are required, we will do technical reviews and then get back to you even after the deadline and say, hey, you're missing this. We're giving you 1 week or 2 weeks more, and please get back to us. Because we're aware that a lot of work has been done and has been put into the Fulbright application. So that's why we want to give you more time, but not a lot of time to complete your application. After that, from October to November 2019, so this year, U.S. peer review will happen. So these are alumni, former Fulbrighters, who are going to get together in discipline committees and will review applications and discipline related. So social sciences will be one of the disciplines. And then if you pass this stage, then we will let you know. Of course, even those who do not pass this stage, we'll notify everyone of their status in December. And then those who pass the peer review, U.S. peer review stage, their applications are going to be reviewed further in the hosting countries. So this could happen sometimes between January to April 2020, and as soon as we hear back from the countries, we will let you know. So we really appreciate your patience in the review process, because remember, this is a very competitive and merit-based program, and that's why there's so many layers of review. After you get the final recommendation from the hosting countries, let's say in April at the latest, you're notified of your status, and the recommended applicants are sent further to the J. William Fulbright Foreign Scholarship Board, who makes the final approval. And then from May 2020 onwards is the travel and the preparation for grants. So this basically is the timeline. And then we do provide the resources. As if you started the application, you probably noted that our website has a wealth of information. Most of the case, it's very user-friendly once you start navigating through it. And we do have the catalog of awards that you can filter. I'm going to show you that if we have some time, because I really want to get to the questions, because there are some burning questions and I really want to respond to them. But basically, I recommend you start your online application, follow the application instructions that are provided on the application form itself, and just follow these instructions. From A to Z, you have the guideline on how to make a very competitive application, and also follow the requirements of the award description. We do provide project statement guidance and samples of previous successful applications. Isn't that amazing? So you can see what worked. And then these webinars are also very resourceful. We do have a Fulbright Scholar blog. You can hear firsthand from scholars, from their experience, the current scholars or previous scholars who share their experience, and then that's how you learn, how is this experience and how it affects you. It's a life-changing experience for most of them, and there are some really inspiring stories there. You want to also connect with us. We do provide this opportunity. It's called My Fulbright, and it is CIS2.org. You register there, express your interest, you express also your preferred discipline, and then we'll send you messages and information about the latest development in the program. We do have some frequently asked questions, how can I contact you? So I listed some of the emails, or all of the regional emails on each of the slides. And I'm going to send you also this webinar when it is archived, so you will be able to listen to this again, or just send me any questions that you have. Because for every region, we do have dedicated staff that work on those awards in the region, and they will get back to you within 24 hours at the latest. So the deadline is September 16, 2019. Again, don't wait until that date to submit your application. You can apply to only one award in one country. So one country, one award, unless it is specified differently. We do have like some awards in multiple countries, or we do have the Global Scholar Award, which is you can apply to at least 2 world regions, maximum 3 world regions. But that's a very competitive award. Is there a preference for teaching, research, or combination of both? What proportion is required for teaching and research combinations? So every award description has different preferences, but it is generally open to the project and capacity of host institution. If not otherwise stated in the award, you want to reach out to the host and negotiate the percentage of the teaching and research with them directly, because depending on their needs, of course. And then, like I mentioned earlier, this is the site where you want to register, become part of our network of our messages that we send. We do send weekly messages, updates about upcoming events, webinars, etc. So you want to make sure you are part of this. You can email us at regional inboxes that I listed earlier. Visit our website for more information. And then you can also refer your colleagues. If you know someone who is also eligible and would be interested to apply to this, feel free to refer them. And follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to get the latest about the program. So now I would like to get to the questions. Okay, so that's so many questions. I appreciate your patience for listening to the whole webinar for almost 40 minutes. But basically, I'm going to send you the slides as well, the webinar and the PowerPoint presentation, so that you can go through it on your own and also, again, follow up with any other questions. All right. Okay, so the questions that you submitted were the following. So I'm just going. Do the distinguished chairs always have to be full professors? You mentioned distinguished chairs are for people with 10 plus years of experience, which I have. But I'm an associate professor. Again, depending on the country, what country you're interested to apply to, and even if in many cases on the second tab where you have the award requirements, you will find that information. And if not, write to us, write to the person that is listed, and then we can check with the hosting country. But you should be able also to check this with your potential host institution. So again, every country is different. So are these awards related specifically to teacher preparation? Would that show up in the award description? Absolutely. So you would find that information about the profile of the applicant on the award page and under the award requirements. Are there any Europe arts architecture opportunities that don't require a PhD? Yes, there are some awards, and you can filter them. I'm going to show you the website now, and I'm going to show you how to navigate and filter these awards that do not require PhD. For Germany, would you recommend applying for a Fulbright as a teaching assistant or for research? I'd be happy with either one, but I prefer to do research, but I'm not sure which one would give me a better chance to get a scholarship. Again, it depends on your application and what makes better sense for you. So if you have more experience in teaching rather than research, I recommend you consider teaching. But again, it depends on what would make most sense for you and for the host institution's needs as well. Um, so there are opportunities for elementary and high school teachers, and also we do have the Fulbright Distinguished Award in Teaching. That's a different program if you're interested to apply as a secondary or elementary school teacher. We do provide also some awards in Hungary are for special education. So you want to look that up. It is called education or psychology. If a partnership letter is required, so that's like an invitational letter, is the Fulbright applicant required to already have developed a relationship with the host institution? Yes, highly recommended. So basically, even during your application process, you will develop some relationship by just talking to the host and getting a better understanding of their needs. And then also, this is how you can enhance your application by getting their feedback, what are their needs, and how they can accommodate your teaching or research, and then you incorporate that into your application. Even when you reach out to your potential host to seek for a letter of invitation, please share your project idea with them and also highlight what do you think the impact could be for on this institution. And then they can include that in the letter of invitation. That would be a great letter of invitation. So we do have like some specific questions that I'm going to get back to them later on after the webinar. Is there a central location to find postdoc opportunities specifically? Yes. There is a way how to filter for postdoc opportunities, and also we're hosting a postdoc opportunities webinar this Friday, so I'm going to recommend that you register for that too. Is an EDD acceptable in lieu of a PhD for awards requiring a terminal degree? Yes. So that's required. That's a terminal degree. Is an applicant at a disadvantage if you apply to a country where you have dual citizenship? Well, it depends on the country. Since I work in Europe and Eurasia, I'm very familiar with those countries that disqualify applicants with dual citizenship. So I'm going to show you also where to look on the website if Korea has that same requirement. But in most of the cases, they're not very encouraged because you are already familiar with the culture and you already have established relationships. So they're always looking for applicants who have not had extensive experience in the country. And it depends, again, if you've lived for over 5 years in the country, you're not eligible. Like lived recently, not that you were born or maybe finished your high school in the country, but if you've had an extensive recent experience of 5 years. So if you're having technical issues with the application, again, send me an email and I'd be happy to check that on your behalf. And then I'm going to make sure that you can proceed with your application. Could you tell us more about the desired content of a letter of invitation? Would it be helpful if it mentioned that the applicant had a previous collaboration with the host institution? Yes, absolutely. Again, focus on the letter of invitation. There's not like a format for it, like not an official format for a letter of invitation, but the successful letters of invitations are the ones that basically highlight what are they going to benefit from this. It's clear that this is a great collaboration, and also if you've had a previous collaboration, it helps, definitely, but then you just want to explain on how did that previous collaboration prepare you for this Fulbright experience. Is it useful to have one of the letters of recommendation from a former Fulbrighter? Absolutely, yes. It is recommended. If you know someone, definitely yes, because they know what to focus on. They can even if you know them, they can even help you give you some feedback on your application, on your project statement, let's say. So is an applicant at a disadvantage if the desired country is not in the area of expertise? For example, applying for a Fulbright in Jamaica when education is not the area of focus. Yes, you are right. So if the discipline that you represent is not one of their preferred disciplines, I would not recommend you look for that award unless it's an all discipline award. Then you can pursue your application. But if it's like they're offering opportunities, let's say in computer sciences, and your background is in education, then again, it depends on how you would justify that. But always go for the preferred disciplines in these awards. Okay. I'm a naturalized U.S. citizen. Can I apply for an award in my previous home country? Yes, you can apply. Again, keep in mind the requirements and eligibility. First of all, you want to check if they accept applications from dual citizens. Second of all, if you've had recent experience in the country for a time period of 5 years, then you're not eligible. How does an institution become a Fulbright Center? That's a great question. Remember in the beginning when I showed you who all works on the program, there are so many partners and institutions. So in so many countries, the Fulbright commissions, which are binational commissions that are established in the country and they oversee the programs, they establish these partnerships with universities or research centers in the host countries. And whenever there is no Fulbright Commission, U.S. embassies, which are U.S. government representations abroad, they manage and they establish these partnerships with the host institutions, and they oversee the program. So they approve these Fulbright centers, as you call them, or partnerships. Are there diversity-focused programs, hidden gems? Yes, there are so many opportunities, so many different disciplines represented on the Fulbright U.S. Scholar program. So I'm gonna, all right, so now I'm gonna show you the website and how to filter basically for the preferred disciplines for so many different categories that we just talked about. All right, so you can see the website, right? I just want to get a confirmation that you can see this. Can you see the website now? All right, so this is probably very familiar. It's awards.cis.org, and then I just did this filter here before we started the webinar, so I wanted to have it ready. But basically, you can either filter by discipline, just type in social education, and then 148 awards are found. So you can just maybe look for, somebody mentioned diversity here, and you can search for awards. And see, there are 43 awards found that either mention the word diversity or it's included as part of their discipline, etc. So this is how you can filter. Or you can just reset the search criteria and you can search, let's say, by region. You can filter them. You can filter, when you select region, then you can filter also the country within that region. You can do okay, so the discipline, for example, let's see, we have anthropology, let's say, or, and then education. You can just click as many disciplines as you want. Activity, you want to do professional project combination with research. Professional project basically means like you're serving as a consultant. This is a new activity I introduced this year. So you can select one of these. Let's say you want to do teaching, or you want to do a combination of teaching and research, which is the most common. You can filter by the grant length. You can degree requirements, if PhD is required or not, the category of what level of scholar. So here you can filter the postdoc awards that I had a question earlier, and you can just look for these opportunities. Professional profile, whether it's open to academics only or they also welcome professionals. Invitation letter is required, is not required, is preferred, optional, and even this option that the letter should not be sought. So let's see with some of the search requirements. So 31 awards found in the region, Europe, Eurasia, with the anthropology, education, and other disciplines that we clicked, and whether the PhD is required or not. So this is how you filter for these awards. So I'm going to show you also when you go into the award. For example, I'm just going to pick one of these awards. Let's say this one in Czech Republic. We also discussed this in our presentation. So you want to look for, read this carefully. What they're looking for is here. And then furthermore, you will find information about the time. How long is this grant for? You want to make sure you match your activities and your project to this 3 to 4 months, let's say, if you're applying for this one. Then pay attention to when should this Fulbright begin. Location, see, this is the host institution. It's set already. You don't need to look for it anywhere else. And then it's hyperlinked, so you can just go into their website and research, see what they do, what kind of teaching they offer, and see if this is how you find if you're a good match. They do not offer the flex option, but they do have these preferred disciplines, specializations, special features, etc. The second tab, pay close attention to also these 4 tabs that are here. They do provide a lot of information about the letter, the language requirements. This is open to applicants only. Senior scholar or professional with relevant experience sought. So they are not mentioning the rank of the professor, because I had a question earlier. So when it's not mentioned, then you want to check with the Fulbright Commission, or maybe even the host. You want to reach out to them. We do provide contacts. See, in most of these awards, we do provide their contacts. Information about the benefits are listed here. How much exactly you would be getting per month. And then if they allow dependents or not. More information about the countries listed here, and the Fulbright Commission information and website. This offers up to 2 people to be selected. The activities are listed here. PhD is required. Deadline is here. My name is listed here, so you can call me or send me an email with any particular questions. The orange button here will take you directly to the application, and you can start it or continue. Just remember to, keep in mind, remember your email address and your password for this when you register. And also, this is very helpful, the application guidelines. A lot of information that will help you in your application. The instructions, which you want to download and you want to print it and just go follow the instructions step by step. More specific things and information depending on the whether it's research or teaching or a combination of all these. We do provide these checklists. When you go here, you will find information about the eligibility. So I had a question earlier about the dual citizenship. So usually you would find this information if dual citizenship is disqualifies an applicant. You would find it either in the country area overview or under the award requirements. If it's not there, reach out to either the person who is listed here, or you can reach out to the Fulbright Commission. So I'm going to stop there to see if we have any additional questions, because it's 3 o'clock now. I don't want to keep you any longer. But I really appreciate your attention, and thank you for your interest in the Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program. And feel free again to reach out, and we're happy to help as a team. And good luck with your application. Looking forward to working with you in the coming months. Have a nice rest of the day, and good luck again.